The last thing we need to do, we absolutely must step out and demand that we go to term limits in this country. I happen to think 12 years is the right period of time for somebody to go to Washington and have an impact. As voters, we just don't seem to be able to get out of our own way. And again, I just take you back to last summer. In June of last year, Gallup ran a poll, asked Americans to vote 1 to 20, which profession they trusted the most. Number 20 were, the guys that, the lobbyists. Number 20 were lobbyists. Number 19 were used car salesmen. Number 18 were members of Congress. And Congress outpolled used car salesmen by 2 percentage points. Now I got to tell you, if I were a used car salesman, I'd have been offended by that. But having said that, that was June of last year. In October of last year, the same company, Gallup, ran another poll and said, are you pleased or displeased with the job being done by Congress? 90% of Americans said we were unhappy with the job that Congress was doing. So they're ranked 18 out of 20, and 90% of Americans said we don't like what they're doing. 1 month later, we have our national election. There were 468 seats that were up for re-election in 2012. Anybody want to guess how many incumbents lost their jobs? Too high. You're a little too low. I probably built this up too high. 15. So 90% of us thought the job they were doing was lousy. But we sent back all but 15 of them to Congress. See, what I figured out is we really don't like Congress, but we really like our congressperson. Our person's a good gal. She's a good guy. He's a good guy. They came home and helped us build a new wing on the library. They expanded our airport. They did all these, that was all with borrowed money. Folks, we can't keep borrowing money. We can't do it. Look at that guy right there. That guy sitting in the front row right there. That's the guy right there that we all should apologize to when we walk out of this room. We're all doing well, everything is happy, but my children and my grandchildren are going to bear the brunt of what we're doing today if we don't lock arms as a group and move forward and demand that the people we send to Washington take care of the business of the country first and get themselves reelected second.